Now I'd like to invite up Tom Wettersten for the student address, Looking Back.
"30 years from now, students at Stewart Hall might not remember the class of 2009. But I have no doubt in my mind that each and every one of us will never forget each other. This place has brought us together, and I know that we will forever be connected because of it. My car rides to Stewart Hall began in 1995 when my oldest brother, Henry, started kindergarten. This means I've been making the trip to and from school every school day for the past 14 years, or my whole life. Including sports events, I've made the round trip about 3,502 times. Every time I went, I was comforted, sometimes disappointed to know I would be making the trip again soon. But as I stand here in front of friends, classmates, family, companions, teachers, and brothers, I know that other than visiting, I have taken my last trip. I will not be back tomorrow, next week, next month, or even next year. But that doesn't mean I will ever forget those thousands of car rides and where they took me. Although I will be parting from Stewart Hall and most of my class, unfortunately, I have memories that will last a lifetime. Memories of kindergarten and Pinkies Up, of Grant Garden and the construction chute slide, of Miss O'Malley's smiling face, of Miss O'Regan in religion class, of Miss Light and her Diet Pepsi, of Mr. Collins, the way he would swat us with his newspapers, of the blue stairs that we could never touch, of the leather sofa you sat on when you were sick, or in my case, when you were in trouble, of the surprised and overjoyed faces on Conjay, of Mr. Morjean and Foufoun, of water and orange fights on field day, of excessively clapping in chapel, of the talent show and 99 red balloons, of Mr. McSpadden's dry comedy routine, of Miss Bloom's Coke Zero, of Mr. Gardner's Cowboys obsession, of Miss Jigginus's throat clearing, of Kochi and his yo-yos, of Mr. Phillips when he's mad, of Mr. Phillips when he's really mad, of Mr. Strada being everything a great teacher and advisor can be, of Prize Day and pins, of the headphones that Miss Gutierrez used to block out the noise of English, of art class. Funny though, I don't have a memory of actually doing art. Of Mr. Raj and tapes of old Warriors games, of Madame Merit and going to Campbell's house during school, of Miss Finn and her stunners, of Miss Ewan and her sandals, of when Brendan threw up on the bus ride back from Yosemite, of Tristan and his extremely successful but short-lived candy business, of Michael and his beer bottle and drumstick music project, of Ian Rinstrom and Sandy Wood, of locker room piggyback rides, of Chris and Cedric and the talent show, of balls and cones, of Sterling and the time that he, well, you can fill in the blank on that. Of Daniel and how he showed us how much fun Jell-O can be. Of our Vice Commissioner Liam. Of Rick when he, well, don't worry about it. Of mid-weeklies and how the girls would line up to dance with Beamer. Of Cutter and his guitar. Of Matthew and his piano skills. Of Dara and his love for firearms. You know, I was going to say something about Mossy, but there was so much material I just couldn't choose. Of Gabriel and Kenneth sitting next to to each other in science every day. Of Greg and his slip-up in science. Of Patrick and his awesome tan. Of Eric Campbell and not holding the door. Of Danny and his three-pointers. Of Forrest and bringing an iTunes clicker to French class. Of Eric Hack's uncanny knowledge of past presidents. Of Andreas and his analysis of Zorro. Of Brian acting in the play. Of Alex, who is both the smartest and most unorganized guy in the grade. Of Jack sleeping during class but nobody noticing because he pays the same amount of attention when he's asleep as when he's awake. Of Quinny, Buzz, and early Sunday morning liners. Of Critchards in science. Of Dylan being a Duke fan. Of Fong being the most hyper guy I've ever met. Of how Kurt met Shaq. Of Kevin being the strongest guy in the grade but never hurting a fly. Except if that fly hated the Packers. Of Juan Carlos in the KTVU news report. How up until this year, we all thought Alex Fong was a mute. Of Kyle Chong and his beloved camera. And of course, of Nikki and his gliding. I have a memory for each and every one of you here today. Tomorrow, I will have a memory of giving this speech. A memory of making fun of 36 guys who haven't changed my life, but who have made my life. You have all enriched my world for the last 9 years, and I will never forget any of you. Together, we have lived, grown, changed, fought, joked, comforted, and loved each other for the past 9 years. Tomorrow, we begin our lives as alumni and former classmates. However, as I stand here, I just want you all to know, you don't have to try to remember everything that has happened to us during our time at Stewart Hall. Because guys, the truth is, it will be impossible to ever forget. Thank you, everybody.